You're listening to the audio production of You Are a Theologian, an invitation to know and love God well, by Jen Wilkin and J.T. English.
Published by B&H Publishing Group and read by Jen Wilkin and J.T. English.
Introduction. What a Generation Forgot.
This book exists to serve as part of the Great Commission a generation of church leaders forgot. When we think of Jesus' commands in Matthew 28 to go and make disciples, we tend to assign it to the category of evangelism. We picture Jesus' disciples fanning out across the known world armed with gospel tracts or hand-sketched diagrams, showing the sin gap that separates us from God, and a cross to span that gap. We picture joyful conversations followed by joyful baptisms, and then we picture those evangelists moving on to the next town, carrying the gospel from Jerusalem to Judea to the ends of the earth.
But if our understanding of the Great Commission is primarily a call to evangelism, we have forgotten a key piece of what it requires. Matthew 28:19 through 20 says, "Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything I have commanded you."
Jesus' final command is not a call to make converts, but a call to make disciples. And as the Great Commission states, that call will require us to teach converts to observe all that Jesus has commanded. Arguably, we have no power to make converts. But making disciples? According to Jesus, we are to replicate ourselves by passing along the good deposit that was passed along to us.
In one sense, the Great Commission is not new when we hear it uttered by Jesus. It sounds a great deal like David's claim that one generation will declare your works to the next and will proclaim your mighty acts in Psalm 145:4. It sounds a lot like Moses' exhortation to Israel in Deuteronomy chapter 6. These are the commands, decrees, and laws the Lord your God directed me to teach you to observe in the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess, so that you, your children, and their children after them may fear the Lord your God as long as you live, by keeping all his decrees and commands that I give you, and so that you may enjoy long life. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the doorframes of your houses and on your gates. Deuteronomy 6:1 and 2, 6 through 9.
A disciple is a learner. In the Great Commission, as in Deuteronomy 6, those who are more mature in the faith are called to teach those who are less mature, training them into the core beliefs of the faith. Discipleship is both a skill and a discipline, as the term disciple indicates, requiring effort and commitment, as all worthwhile skills do. Conversion happens in an instant. Discipleship, on the other hand, is the work of a lifetime. It involves the transmission of an ancient faith from one generation to the next. So how are we doing with that? According to most indicators, not great.
In 2022, Lifeway Research and Ligonier Ministries partnered to release a report on the state of theology in the church. They surveyed both Christians and non-Christians on their understanding of basic Christian theology, the essential beliefs that define who is a Christian and who is not. The results among non-Christians were predictably dismal, but it's the results among professing Christians that are particularly alarming.
Consider just a few of the findings. God learns and adapts to different circumstances. 48% of evangelicals agree. Everyone is born innocent in the eyes of God. 65% of evangelicals agree. God accepts the worship of all religions, including Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. 56% of evangelicals agree. Jesus was a great teacher, but he was not God. 43% of evangelicals agree, up from 30% in 2020. Let that sink in. Professing Christians in staggering numbers don't understand or ascribe to the most basic beliefs of the faith they claim to stake their lives on.
They lack basic theological understanding, and the trends show that the knowledge gap is not getting better, but worse. It would appear that one generation has failed to tell the next. It would appear that we have made converts, but not disciples. How did we get here? If a disciple is a learner, a discipler is a teacher. But we cannot teach what we ourselves have never been taught. We cannot transmit to another generation what has not been transmitted to us. And we will not aspire to teach anyone else the basic beliefs of our faith if we do not consider ourselves primarily as disciplers. We must learn to think of ourselves from a different angle.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?